Yo, what is up everyone? Today we're going to be talking about how to double your testosterone. Very simple video, very easy, going to get straight to the point. 4 simple steps, maybe a 5th bonus if y'all are here for it. Let's get into it. All right, so first thing, diet. Your diet needs to be on point. Red meat, fruit, raw dairy, a little bit of vegetables, and that's about it. You need to cut out the seed oils, the processed sugar, the wheat, and all the bullshit, okay? It's much more important that you cut out the bullshit processed food than actually eating, the other food. The thing is, you're just going to be so hungry that you're going to be like, fuck, I need to eat. So at that point, you eat red meat, fruit, raw dairy, okay? That is the animal-based diet. That is the best diet for your testosterone, I promise you, because carnivore, unfortunately, you need your carbs, you need your energy, okay? Like, carnivore can work for some people. It's very medicinal purposes. But for the most part, you want your carbs in there. And that's why I recommend fruit, honey, even sweet potatoes. Those are good for your testosterone, okay? And it's also very important that you're cutting out the bullshit. Cereal, waffles, pancakes, all that's bullshit, okay? You really should not be eating any of that shit. Anything that isn't either an animal or grown out of the earth, you should not be touching pretty much. It's actually very simple. If you're a human in the fucking forest, would you ever eat a Twinkie? No. So the diet shit is extremely simple. The diet shit is so on point, okay? It could not get more simple than just eat like a normal human being. Next, okay? The next part is your training. Your training needs to be intense, full body movements. So besides the compound movements, we're talking about bench, squat, deadlift. Sprints is very important too. Sprints is going to raise your testosterone that a lot of people don't really talk about, okay? What sprints are is an intense movement that's full body and your entire body working, okay? It's going to destroy your legs and it's going to produce testosterone in your body because at the end of the day, we're, inherently hunters, so biologically that would produce more testosterone because we're hunting down something. So if you sprint and when you're sprinting, you're acting like you're being chased by a lion or you're chasing down like a rabbit to eat it, I'm telling you, that's going to boost testosterone. So make sure you're training 4 to 5 times a week. Get your rest in. Very, very important. Your sleep is very, very important, obviously. Recovery is extremely important. But I don't need to talk about that too much because the reality is if you're training really hard and you're doing all the proper things, your sleep should be pretty fucking simple and easy to get that. Yeah, so that one's pretty simple. Train really hard. Compound movements. Calisthenics are important too. Slow and controlled is extremely important. But when it comes to testosterone overall, it's important to full body movement and explosive, okay? That is probably the 2 most important parts when it comes to training for testosterone, okay? Is explosive movement and full body, okay? That's why sprints are the best for testosterone, in my opinion. And a lot of other testosterone coaches' opinions as well. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about. Okay, diet, food. Okay, now the next thing we're going to talk about is the 3rd thing, which is nature, okay? How you are as a human being in nature pretty much. So how much sun are you getting? How much are you putting your feet in the ground? This is extremely important for testosterone, okay? A lot of people misread this stuff, okay? They think it's not important. But the reality is a lot of people some people argue that your energy comes from 33% the ground, 33% food, and 33% the sun. So if you're not getting sun and grounding, you're missing on like 66% of your energy, 2/3 of your energy. That's what they claim. You know what I mean? And these people, they are very healthy people. So I would look into that science and, get back to me on that shit because it seems pretty effective. But no, what I've noticed personally when doing this is just more sun and more grounding. I felt better, less inflammation when I ground, tanner with the sun. And just sun overall is going to increase testosterone. I've always felt, better, more energetic after getting sun, higher libido, all these different things after getting some good sun and doing these high test things. So it's very important to keep that in mind. That, nature is extremely important. How much are you getting in nature? How much are you looking at the earth and nature's earth rather than like a bunch of boxes or screens or, houses or buildings? How much are you looking at trees? These are all very important things that actually are going to affect your testosterone long term. I mean, the person that looks at a screen for a year compared to the person that looks at trees for a year, those two are going to have completely different testosterone. I'm telling you right now. And the reason is because the screen is not good and being in nature is extremely good, okay? Being in nature is one of the most important things for testosterone. It's the reason those gym bros will still have low testosterone. They'll do everything right. They'll train right. They might eat an okay diet, but probably low fat, which is another thing that's affecting their testosterone. But they don't get any sun and they don't get in nature at all. And then they wonder why their testosterone's tanked. And then you go to some tribe and then they all have insanely great testosterone. And it's like, how did they have such good testosterone? Like they're not even training that hard, or they're not even working out. It's like, well, they're out in nature, they're hunting, and they're eating real food. That's why their testosterone's so high. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So you got to think high testosterone means be more of a hunter in nature and being more of just a primal man. Okay, more feet in the ground, more sun, more eating red meat, more fruit, less bullshit, less screens, more nature, more explosive movement, more of that. You just got to think hunter-gatherer, like the spear going through the thing. You know, you got to think like biologically in those terms a little bit. But yeah, and then we also talked, I don't know if I talked about before, but you know, obviously in the diet, fat is very important for testosterone because fat, you know, helps with cholesterol and all that different stuff. So I need to add that in there. I don't know if I remember adding that or not, but it's very important that you're eating really fatty red meat because that's going to be one of the biggest like producers of testosterone because it's cholesterol and then testosterone. So hell yeah, that's very important. Okay. Third thing is what to avoid. Okay. So now this goes with kind of everything. What you're trying to avoid is actually very important. Okay. So you got to make sure that you're avoiding all the bullshit. And that doesn't just mean what you use to clean yourself, but what you're watching, all of it. Okay. So let's start off with what you're watching, okay? If you're watching a screen with blue light, that is fucking with your testosterone because what's happening is you're watching the blue light, and if it's later at night, then your sleep's getting fucked, and then your testosterone's getting fucked because your body thinks that it's daytime when it's actually, you know, 12 at night, but you're looking at a bright screen. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that stuff, so you have to cut that shit out, okay? The next thing you have to cut out is the bullshit products, okay? If you're using bullshit on your face, in your hair, you know what I mean, like bad water, you know what I mean? All these different things are important. Like if you're brushing your teeth every day with bad water, you know what I mean? You're drinking bad water every single day or sink water or whatever. It's not good, okay? You need to be using good water, clean water for everything you do, okay? And in your skincare routine, it's very important you're not using bullshit. I only use beef tallow and sea salt spray. That's it, okay? And I have pretty good skin. And I did not have good skin before. So what does that tell you? So a lot of people, they use these bullshit products that they think are going to work. They have all these chemicals and it ends up fucking their testosterone. And they don't even look better from it, okay? I've always said this. The looks maxers that do the best are the ones that stay natural, okay? Like, there are some exceptions, like fucking Clav, because that guy's just, you know, he's just an ascension beast. But other than that, man, for the most part, like, you kind of need to just soft max and fucking do the right things and do the beef tallow, do the sea salt spray. Don't put some bullshit on your face. Don't do Accutane. Okay, these are going to destroy your fucking testosterone. Okay, and the last thing is the mindset, okay? This is actually the most important. It is the bonus, but a lot of people like to talk about this list of things like diet, training, what to avoid, what to do, what not to do, all these products, you know, and those are very important things. But I think the most important thing that none of these testosterone coaches really talk about that much, some of them do, but most of them really aren't talking about, is your mindset and the mindset you need, a high testosterone mindset and what that looks like. Well, what it looks like is doing things that you don't want to do, but know you need to for your future self. That is extremely important for high testosterone. I think it's very, very important to recognize that every single time you do something that you don't want to do, there's something in your brain that's growing. I forgot what it's called. Andrew Huberman talks about it, but there's literally a thing in your brain that grows every time you do something that you don't want to do. And it literally builds a callus. It's like a rep, and you can do it more and more and more. So for example, like approaching a girl, if you're really nervous to, that is going to raise testosterone. I'm being serious. If you were to go a day and just approach 5 girls randomly, you know, nervous, and you were nervous, but you still did it, that is going to raise testosterone. That's a fact, okay? So understand that. All of these different things, doing things you don't want to do, putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, defending an argument, okay? Defending yourself when other people might disagree with you. If 10 people are disagreeing with you, you still defend it, okay? That will produce testosterone, the ability to defend things, okay? All of mindset's extremely important for testosterone, okay? A lot of people don't think this way, but you have to understand something. It is actually one of the biggest driving factors for high testosterone people is the mindset itself, okay? I'm being serious. If you can get your mind in a place where you're like, no, I do things when I'm supposed to, I do it because I need to do it to win at life, it's going to be a lot easier for you. It's going to be a lot easier for you to have high test, okay? Like you could have some guy that does all 4 of the rules I just said, but he's a weak-minded, and because of that, he is end up going to have not as high test as the person that does none of the shit I said, but his mindset is so, I don't give a fuck, I do what I want. That literally produces higher testosterone. I'm telling you. So you need to understand this shit. You need to understand how biological this shit goes, okay? You defending your argument, you defending yourself with other people, you standing for what's right, okay? You doing things that you don't want to do, but know you need to do. That is going to raise testosterone. A lot of the people don't talk about it, okay? But it's very important that you do that stuff, okay? And it's also important for a fun life. I mean, it's a better life to just say what you want and do what you want and feel how you want and act how you want and put yourself in uncomfortable positions. I mean, it's just fun. I mean, we're on a floating rock. You're not going to just do whatever you want and just like, fuck it, who cares? Like, that's what I'm saying is a sign of high testosterone is the ability to not give a fuck about what other people think and do exactly what you want because you know it's right for you, okay? That's very, very important. So that's the 5th one, probably the most important, but I think if you do every single thing I say for the next 3 months, that will double your testosterone. So there you go. Peace.